iPhone 15 Pro, the worst iPhone ever made in the history of mankind. At least that's what some folks would have you believe. So it's been a really interesting almost week with this phone. I have never seen an iPhone so embattled on launch date before. And it's funny because there's like a tale of two cities. You see some people over in this camp and they're like, it's the best phone ever. And you see other people like, oh my gosh, it sucks, return it. And it's funny because, well, it's the iPhone. And the iPhone doesn't usually have all these issues. And we went through bin gate, charge gate. I mean, all the different things you add gate onto the end of. This one has already had people concerned about it breaking. There's been people dropping them from like 20 feet and shattering them and be like, oh my gosh, the durability sucks, which, I mean, come on. I saw a video where somebody's like, the S23 Ultra is more durable than the iPhone 15 Pro Max because somebody shot it with a gun. Yes, they shot through the S23 Ultra and you could see the hole and you could see that the phone was still working, which was kind of crazy. Just depends on where the bullet hits, right? And then the iPhone 15 Pro Max, they put one through that and it was done. Like it, TKO, done, knockout, like Mike Tyson hit it. So that was one thing. But I mean, just there's so many things. Normally, we don't have these issues with the iPhone. We have some complaints here with iOS 17. And actually, iOS 17 has been pretty fluid for me. Thankfully, it seems to be an improvement over iOS 16. I hated iOS 16 so much. It caused me so many problems that I quit using my iPhone 14 Pro Max. It was that bad. I hated it that much. So iOS 17, by and large, seems to be okay. The phone itself, the performance I actually like. Other than it warming up occasionally, other than it getting hot whenever you charge it, other than the battery life sucks, other than you could basically put your thumb through the back of the phone if you press hard enough. I mean, these are little things add up. And I think this is probably worse than even probably any Android phone launch we've had in quite a long time. And it stings so much because it's Apple. But then you have this segment of the population that says, don't worry, it's okay. You know, it's fine. Y'all are all just making this stuff up. Look, I'm totally fine taking an objectively reasonable approach to this. I made a video talking about, hey, these are the reasons why I think it's heating up. I think Apple will provide us with the solution soon. They'll probably do a software update, throttle some things, fine tune it a little bit more, and it'll be all right. I'm not too worried about the heating stuff. But what I don't like is when you have people dismissing other people's issues. And that's something that Pixel fans that follow my channel know something really, really well about, because for the last year or two, you say, my phone's overheating. Mine's not. There's nothing wrong with it. You say, my buttons fell out of my phone. Oh, mine's not. I don't know what you're talking about. You guys are just making this stuff. Or, oh, my phone lost signal because of the bad software update. Oh, my phone's not doing that. I don't know what you're talking about. So that whataboutism gets really, really old. It's one thing to be a fan. It's one thing to make a review and be like, hey, guys, this is what I think about it. And then it's another to completely dismiss other people's issues. So I like to try and take a down the middle of the road approach. Like, okay, yes, it seems like there might be some frustrations here with some part of people who got the phone, but then there might be some that are better. So maybe it's a quality assurance issue. Some people are saying, oh, some models were made in India. I haven't paid attention to that. Like, I don't care where it was manufactured. It was still put through Apple's QA quality assurance process. So maybe there are some duds, and that's quite possible, but don't tell people to shut up. There's people that are like, oh, if you're having a problem with your phone, you're just saying stuff so you can get engagement. You're just saying stuff so you can get attention or clicks or views. Really? It's on the onus. Like, if I have a problem with my phone, I'm going to tell you guys. If other people in the tech community have problems with their phones, I expect them. I mean, that's what we're supposed to do, right? We're supposed to inform and educate you guys and gals who come to our channels to watch these things so you can find out whether you should buy it or not. Do I think the phone's worth buying? Yeah, probably. I mean, it seems like a pretty good phone. I don't even like iPhones, and I think this one's pretty good. I really like the action button. Like, it's really cool. I like being able to program it. I have mine set up for the flashlight. And my wife is like, oh my gosh, I wish mine did that. So I'm not going to debate whether I got to spend a bunch of money and buy her one or just give her the Pro Max I have. But yeah, I think there are some meaningful things here that are good. I think that the performance is nice. I think iOS 17 is good. I think that the polished off, rounded off edges are really nice. It makes it more comfortable to hold. I think it's a beautiful looking phone. I think that there's quite a few nice things about it. But it's got a couple little things of baggage hanging onto it that keep it from having a smooth launch and that have question marks out there. I've had folks in the comments say, hey, my battery life sucks. I'm returning it. I've had people in the comments say, hey, mine's getting hot. This is concerning me. I'm returning it. Those are very valid things. And especially if you're coming over from the iPhone 14 or the iPhone 13. A lot of these comments I'm getting from iPhone 13 and 14 where they thought, oh, I thought it would be a good upgrade, but I'm still getting the same or worse battery life. Or I thought this would be a good upgrade, but it's getting hot. And it makes no sense because my 14 Pro and my 13 Pro wasn't doing this. So I think there are some issues that need to be ironed out. And I think Apple will probably get around to it. But hey, if not, I think that the phone deserves the same level of scrutiny as all the other phones. Like, if you're going to bash the Pixel, be like, oh, the Pixel sucks for this, for that, for that. If you're going to say the S22 sucks for this or that, it's only fair. So I don't have a problem if there's negative criticism out there floating out towards this phone. I have no identity attached to this phone. I could care less. It's a phone, it's a tool. And I think that, well, I'm quite frankly an equal opportunist whenever it comes to criticizing pretty much any phone. Probably why I don't get invited to many events, but that's not the point. I buy these things so I can test them out. I can tell you my thoughts and my feelings. I can try and give you my insight into whether the phone's good, whether you should spend your money on it, stuff like that. I am still trying to fine tune in. I'm going to have my full review out on this next week. And it's funny because I saw some complaining online where people are like, oh my gosh, these people shouldn't be saying review. You shouldn't be reviewing these phones. You need to be testing them out for a month. When it's funny because all the big people that they watch and they praise these videos that tell me, go watch MKBHD or go watch iJustine or go watch these folks, they had the phone for 3 to 4 days before they did their review, if you want to use air quotes around this stuff. So maybe stop gatekeeping and just let people share their experiences with their audiences. I mean, that's kind of my thought. So my whole thing with this phone, has it had a couple of issues? Yes. Do I think it's critical that it's going to destroy this phone and Tim Cook is going to pull his hair out and he's going to go fire everybody who made an iPhone 15 and start from scratch? No. This is not catastrophic. It is things that make you go, because, well, it seems like there are some concerns. But we'll wait back. We'll sit back and see what happens. And I'm going to pay attention and monitor the situation, see if we get a software update, see if things level out maybe over a week or two. It's funny because there were a lot of people who were like, my phone's hot, it's burning, blah, blah, blah. And then like over a day or two, they said, well, it's leveled out quite a bit. So maybe let's just use some caution. We'll sit back, we'll reserve our judgment. And like I said, if it's had some issues, like it's not a perfect phone. This is not a perfect phone at all. And well, let's just see what happens. Like I've had a pretty good experience so far, other than just the few things that I've noted that I've talked about. I think the battery life's not good for the Pro. I may have to use the Pro Max, or I may just keep my 14 Pro Max. I need a iPhone. I need a phone that's going to give me at least like 6 hours of screen on time, 7 hours screen on time. I'm consistently getting about 4.5, maybe 5. If I don't mess with the brightness and turn it up and just leave it stock alone and let the adaptive brightness do what it's supposed to do, maybe I can get 5 by the time I get about to 20%. But it's not lasting me all day. By the time it comes around the evening, I have to quit using it. I have to set it down. I have to quit paying attention to my phone and go put it on a charger because it's not lasting long enough. And I'm on what, day 5, day 6 now? So yeah, I think that it's pretty safe to say the battery life does suck. And it's funny because I've had a lot of comments from people on Mr. Who's the Boss video saying that he tested it against so many different phones, supposedly. I haven't watched the video, but between the 13 Pro, the 14 Pro, the 15 Pro, and a bunch of other phones, and supposedly the 15 Pro is lost. So yeah, I don't think the battery life's great. Some people it'll work out great for. For me, it's not good. Like, this is not something I could use as a daily driver. And that's one reason it does frustrate me from the perspective of being a tech reviewer, because I'm like, all right, this might be okay for you, but for a pro or power level user, I don't think it's it. And you may have to get the Pro Max, which I don't really want to recommend because I don't want an iPhone this big. And it's really hurting my heart right now. I haven't switched over and started using that phone yet because I don't want to. It's pure transparency here. I don't want to. I want to be able to use this one. I like this one, but the battery life's just not good enough. So I'm going to continue to monitor things. I'll touch base with y'all later on. We'll continue to have some iPhone discussion if we get more answers, if we get more problems, if we get more questions. And please, go to the comment section. I'd love to hear your experience you've had with yours so far. I've had a lot of feedback from folks saying, I'm keeping mine, I'm returning it, I like this, I don't like this, blah, 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 et cetera, all those things. So let's continue the discourse and see where things go with it. And I'm going to wrap this one up right now. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, all that stuff, go to the comment section. You know where to find it. I know a lot of you know where to find it. And if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you guys next time.